For my assignment 3, I am doing Vietnam, and if I was a person to place a mini mart kind of thing in Vietnam, I would put it in Ho Chi Minh City, or was known as Saigon. Ho, Ho, Chi, Chi, and Minh is Minh, city. But anyway, that's in Vietnam in the southeast, and pretty much I'm going to tell you about their culture a little bit. There's like 7.5 million population, and the Ho Chi community is mostly a solid entrepreneur community, and hiring is not so well there, apparently. But the city is most likely for bootstrappers, which would be basically starting on your own, which is actually a whole bunch of businesses starting on their own right there. It's a boost starter place. There's a lot of young, fast, and vibrant people there in the country, because 70% is under 30 years old. 70% of the country is under 30 years old. So it's really young, but their work ethic is very strong, and yes, it is a motorbike culture. So it's young, so you would actually get good, hard workers with, that goes and starts on the education. I'm just going to throw that out there. Their education is basically a law, obviously, to be educated and trained for the job that you're getting, and I'll probably go back to that. But in their culture, it's a low cost of living. They really live off of low costs and low labor. What would be good for this business is we are grocery. So really, they're buying groceries at the store is cheaper than going to a bar or restaurant there, which is going to be cheaper, so it's going to be much more used, especially for young people who had just started living on their own or whatever. The basic hiring thing is just because people is just going to try to get ahead and take shortcuts in getting hired or whatever. Apparently, that's how it goes there. But pretty much they're hardworking and fast learning. So that's basically the main culture idea, and that goes, and I can elaborate more. But talking about law, basically education is a big factor in this, and training. They must be trained and educated. So also their foreign workers would have to apply for a worker's permit if they work longer than 3 months in a business. And workers younger than 18 or over 7 months pregnant or with a child younger than 12 months are allowed to have an extra hour off a day and no overtime. That is actually a pretty interesting law. They can have 12 full paid vacation, 12 days of full paid vacation, and if you are able to hire under 18 of age, but you can also hire a 15-year-old or somewhere around the age, but they have to have their parents' permission to work at 15. Also, the labor trends are pretty complicated, but apparently it's cheap labor there. They live off of low wages, but the average is $75 to $80 a month. And it said local salary run about $500 to $1,500 a month. It depends on if you are for a heavy working company or for a small, easy kind of workload company. So it depends if you get paid more at a much harder workforce and if you get paid less at a, but it's still low wage apparently. $500 a month though, that's actually one of the things that I'm used to hearing more of $1,000 a month at most places, but I don't know. It depends. But basically, I need to talk about that. The work hours, it says that there are some places have 4-hour work weeks. And then it says work hours can go from 7:30 to 4:30, which would be 8-hour stuff. Also depends of where you work. But 7:30 to 4:30 sounds pretty reasonable. And then there's 5 holidays in Vietnam to get off, and you get basically when you work somewhere you get 1 day off a week. Yeah. But in bigger manufacturing companies or whatever, you can get 2 days off a week. And then that could also go with their 4-hour work weeks or whatever. It depends again on what company, because we're a small business, we'll probably go smaller wages and a normal hour workforce. We could go with 1 day off a week, or the 2 days off a week. That also goes with benefits and how many employees we'll have. Probably around 50 employees, and the benefits there, I'm saying a lot. The benefits there, the pollution is bad because there's a lot of people and it's very crowded, so I'd probably give them health benefits. And because it's a small country with a lot of people, I'd probably give them vacation time, which would be, going off into different countries, probably taking some time off, or spending a day vacation off, or whatever. Most likely you could get 12 paid vacation, 12-day paid vacation. So 12 days is a pretty good vacation time. But, the way that it is in the country, I think that would be good. And basically, in Vietnam, apparently if you give them bonuses, it can reduce turnover a lot more. Bonuses can reduce turnover. They are basically, the local area has local talent, so they would give good skill. And this goes along with, I could hire, did I say, I did not tell you, but the languages in Vietnam is Vietnamese, but English is basically like their second language. So going on to, if I'd hire Americans, I would hire Americans because it's basically a second language, and in their culture, they actually would love more Americans to come over so they can learn it more easier and get a hold on to it. So pretty much I would hire some Americans and hire some Vietnamese. They're pretty hardworking, so would the Americans. So it would be a mixture workforce, and basically managers and workers. I would have managers there to make sure that things can go in a more ordered manner and more centralized. Probably that basically is bringing Americans. They'll be fine with it, and then put their culture in it. So people from Vietnam could have a Vietnam workforce and an American workforce, so they can get both, and they're perfectly fine with that. But that is pretty much it. So that's all I got from Vietnam.